Okay, so our lobster that came in earlier, nice and fresh. He was very, very lively. I don't know if any of you saw how lively he was this afternoon. But I wouldn't be taking these bands off him now if he was still alive. Okay, these bands just stop him. They can crush very severely with these. They've got two different claws. One's for crushing and holding, and the other one's really sharp. So they use that for cutting and ripping flesh off of whatever their prey is, so that they can eat it. So that's why the two claws are a little bit different. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, I've poached this lobster for about 12 minutes. Okay, it's a 750 gram lobster. If you go too far, then the flesh goes all pappy and horrible. You don't need to feel squeamish about taking his claws and legs off, because, to be honest, you don't need them anymore.
Is it, how much did it cost?
This was £20 and 80p or something like that. Okay, it's a Canadian lobster. It's not one of the native ones to this country. Native ones to this country have only just come back in season. Yeah. Having a look at this one, I can tell it's a female. Okay, because these little bits are a little bit wider, and I've got it. There's a lot of gap in here where the actual eggs lay underneath there. Obviously, they've finished spawning now, but that's where that is. So we've got the body of the lobster, and the way to split them in half, we've got this little natural cross in there, and I'm going to go in with my chef's knife right on that cross, if I can line it up. I'm going to cut down, and I'm going to go out through the head. Okay. What I'm then going to do is turn it around, go in the other way. I'm going to do my best to go straight down the middle of the back, down the tail, and that's how we're going to open it up. Now in here, okay, this is the nasty little bit that we get inside here. We've got the intestinal tract that we don't really want to give to our customers. So I'm going to take that bit out. Coming down here, and there's one on this side as well. And as you can see, a little bit clearer on there. Not very pleasant, because we all know what travels down it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the actual meat from the tail, and this is how we're going to dress this lobster. This one's going to be had for a lobster salad or something like that. So just gently lifting out the flesh. Okay, and what we want to do up in the top here as well, all the nasty little bits, the stomach and all of that sort of stuff up here in the head that we want to take out. What I'm actually going to do with this, give it a little bit of a rinse under the cold tap, just get rid of all of that. We've got a nice shell that we can actually present the lobster back into. I'm going to be able to get a flat a bit later. No, I'm going to show you, chef. So what I want to do now, because I'm going to dress this lobster, where we got the actual tail meat out that way, I'm going to put this tail into the opposite one because it's got the natural sign for it, but where the customer's going to be able to eat it, I'm going to slice it up because it's going to make it a little bit easier for our customer. And then carefully I'm going to pop this back into the shell, but on the other side, because it just looks that little bit nicer. Got the lovely red flesh coming up from the tail. Same on this side. Fills that up. Now we've got a gap where we took all of the nasty bits out of there, but we've got some claws. So what I want to do with the claws, we'll break these little bits open in a minute. What I'm going to attempt to do is to get the meat out of the claws as much as I can in one piece. And the best way using the back of the knife is to actually give the claws a good old bit of a crack. Okay, and I've not succeeded quite as well as I would have liked. But pretty much. Got the main part of the claw there, and then in this little bit shell. Success. Piece there. Okay, and inside here, got a little bit of a blade that's not very nice to eat that we want to take out. Okay, it's very sharp if a customer gets that to eat. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the claw into that bit where we took the head out there. So it's looking a little bit more like that, which is going to dress nicely on the plate. And then hopefully I'll have a little bit more success with this side. Happen, although that's come out. So. Okay, unlike a crab that's got lots of flaky bits of flesh in that you've got to really be careful with the shell. Obviously we don't want to get any shell for our customers, but we've already took that little blade out of this side. We can reform this. So what do you think we can use all these shells for? We're just going to throw them away? Could use them for shellfish. What have you made tonight? These. Okay, so we could use these shells for a lobster beast. Done a very good job of that bit. Okay, what we can also do is break this apart. I seem to have lost my little lobster fork. I've got a tiny little fork. I think I lent it to a student and it's vanished. But what we can do is I'm going to open all these little bits up in a minute, okay, and get all the little bits in, and we're going to put them in there as well, because really, apart from the little bit where all the belly sack and everything is, and that intestine, everything on the lobster is edible. It's like a giant prawn. But that is how you would dress a lobster.